the Deerwood Realty YouTube channel. I'm John Schink, founder and managing broker of Deerwood Realty in St. Louis, Missouri. You know, I saw this article today and I almost can't believe it. They say all real estate is local. And so I've seen in my own market that things have still been pretty strong for sellers. Prices have still continued to go up even after we had the terrible 8% 30-year fixed mortgage rate of maybe 2-3 weeks ago. So when I saw this article, I was, and everything I've seen as far as from the national perspective have said home prices have generally continued to go up. And so I was really surprised when I saw this article, and I wanted to go over it with you. It's right here. It's on Point 2 Homes, which used to be like a website builder, home, kind of like real estate webmasters, something like that. They built websites for agents. So let's just see what this has to say. I thought it was interesting. It says, property values in free fall. Owners who struggled to buy last year have been bleeding money so far. Single-family homeowners lost up to $223 in value every day for the past year, totaling $81,250, while condo owners lost up to $122,500 or $336 per day. So let's just kind of unpack this a little bit. So whenever I help someone buy a home, all right, I always kind of say, you shouldn't be looking at this as selling it like a year from now, or, you need to look at it like maybe a 5-year investment, like plan to stay here at least 5 years. And I do that because, even if house prices go up, you've still got the commission to pay and things of that nature. You're not going to make any money off of the sale right away. That almost hasn't been true for the past 3 years. That's how strong the market is. I've been watching houses that sold early in the pandemic still managed to even clear the previous high price and pay off the commission to the agent. It's unbelievable. I'll be honest, during the time that people ask me about houses, I always look at the property history. And if I see a house is just, going up for sale and it was just sold the year before, no improvements have been made. I tell and then I see like $150,000 extra added to the price. I tell my buyers, like, look, this is just dumb. We can do better than this. And so I am not surprised if you talk about, say, 6 months, a year. I'm not surprised in that this could happen. I'm surprised based on the fact that it's happening now and it hasn't been the case for the last 3 years. So it says some brave buyers decided to take the plunge. Despite historic high mortgage rates, they jumped at the opportunity to buy in a desperate now or never attempt to finally become homeowners. Fast forward to September of 2023, and all they really got was homes that are losing values. Because of the year-over-year price drops in many of the largest U.S. cities, new homeowners would have to sell their homes for less money than they bought them for. So not only do you have to worry about the fact that the commission is in there, you also have to deal with the fact that the price is lower. Now, this is what the article says. It's not what I've seen in St. Louis. It could be different. I've seen little things about like Phoenix. Austin might be a place where the property values have gone down a bit. But it just hasn't happened here yet, or it hasn't happened here. Zooming in on the year-over-year changes in condo and single-family home prices in the 100 largest U.S. cities, Point 2 analysts discovered that price corrections are pummeling condo owners in 36 cities and single-family owners in 25 markets. So let's just look. If it's 25 markets, that means 75% of the markets are not being pummeled. But we don't know the definition of pummeled. Maybe we'll get to that. It says single-family homeowners in these cities have been losing up to $223 in value every day since they bought their homes last year, while condo owners have been bleeding even more money, the $336 that the average San Francisco condo owner lost daily would add up to a total of $122,500, which is perilously close to the city's median income, which is kind of an odd measure. Like what relevance does it have between the two? It just seems kind of random. It says, here are some more highlights from our most recent report. As mortgage rates choke buyers' attempts at home ownership, home prices ground to a halt in many cities, and they're dropping fast in others. In fact, it's the markets that rose the fastest that are now entering correction territory at the highest speed. So, like we talked about Austin, that was a place where everybody seemed to move. I suspect there's some places in Florida. I suspect, but I'm not sure. I'm not in Florida. This could mean that the buyers who were determined to secure a home at the height of the pandemic buying frenzy are now feeling the market's 1-2 punch. First by overpaying, and now in home value loss. Now, falling prices are affecting condo owners in 36 cities and single-family homeowners in 25 cities. What's more, 15 cities getting the worst of both worlds. Here, both condos and single-family home prices are moving in the wrong direction. Now, look, the market's been the angle has been almost straight up for the past 3 years, the housing market. Do you really think we could continue that pace? And what I would say is this: there are times when people need to buy a home. I mean, if they're starting a family, if they're getting married, a life event, I can understand people buying homes even when they know that they're very expensive relative to the previous history. If you're buying a home for the perfect investment, I don't think that's a good plan. I've never thought that was a good plan. If you're buying a home to live in it and not have to pay rent and try to build equity over time, I think it's always a good time to buy a house, and that's just the way it is. If it's your time, if you feel like you need to buy a house, I don't ever feel like you should be forced into buying a house, or I'm just not that kind of agent. It says the biggest bust in 15 cities, both single family and condo owners on a downward spiral. It says in 15 of the largest U.S. cities, it wasn't just the condo owners or just the single family owners that saw their homes lose value. It was both. The year-over-year decline is substantial enough in some cities that it poses a risk of negative equity for homeowners who bought a home last year, not to mention at the height of the pandemic. Now, look, my video is going to be downgraded because I said the word pandemic on YouTube. We just know that that's what happens. But this destroys something that I was so fearful of with my buyers, and that is this. There was the thought that as rates were rising, my buyers, lenders, other people would say, hey, it's okay, we're just going to refinance in a few years anyway. It doesn't matter what the rates are. And I was like, well, that's problematic for two reasons. One, historically, we've been about 5% on mortgage rates, okay? I mean, 2% on a 30-year fix was unheard of. So there was that. So what is the chances that your mortgage rate's going to go back to 2%, or your borrowing rate's going to go not real high? And then the second part of that is if they're cutting rates, that's actually three problems. If they're cutting rates, that means that the economy is not doing well, and they're trying to either stimulate the economy or just try to keep it from getting even worse. So that's not good. And then finally, we have the negative equity situation. It's fine to refinance if you have equity in your home. If you have no equity in your home, or you're losing, like the value of the home is less, when you go to refinance, you have to take money and bring it to the table. Now, that doesn't sound like a good idea ever. So I was always suspect of when people were talking about refinancing. Will it come to fruition here in St. Louis? I don't know. But apparently in these 15 cities, you would have a significant problem refinancing right now, because you'd be a negative equity situation. Even then, you're at a 7.5% interest rate. I mean, it's not good. So here's the 15 largest cities. I thought we could go over them really quickly: Memphis, Tennessee; New Orleans; Detroit. Now, I've heard Detroit's doing very, very well. Like one of the only places that hasn't seen a significant drop off. Oakland, San Francisco, San Antonio, Colorado Springs, North Las Vegas, Henderson, Nevada, Austin, Texas, which we talked about. I thought that would be one. Honolulu, Hawaii; Nashville, Tennessee; Jacksonville, Florida; Chandler, Arizona; and St. Paul, Minnesota. It says, in many of the largest U.S. cities, the housing market started slowing down. After the unexpected COVID-related effervescence, the successive mortgage rate hikes pushed buyers to the sidelines and prices straight into correction road. This double blow market means that most of the newly minted homeowners were first hit by the highest home prices in history, only to be cut off from building wealth by the current falling prices. Again, I haven't seen this massive falling prices, and the reports have said that on average we're still going to see an increase in home prices across the United States in 2023, with less than 30 days to go. So we saw that Memphis was hit. Because I'm in St. Louis, I would be interesting if you saw something in St. Louis. Kansas City got hit. Kansas City had a tremendous amount of house flippers, so I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It says, when it comes to net losses, the slowdown seems to have hit San Francisco condo owners the hardest. The median income the median condo here is now worth $122,500 less than last year. Unfortunately, single-family homes aren't far behind. Their prices dropped by $81,250, the highest amount of the 100 largest cities. So congratulations, San Francisco. Very odd situation there if you've paid any attention to what's going on. I just don't understand it, being from the Midwest. It says, while San Francisco owners may be the biggest losers, plenty of other cities have seen their property prices plunge. Well, that's absolutely true. Then the article goes into talking about Manhattan, and I mean, I have no insight into Manhattan or New York, so that's the article. So I wanted to go over just a few questions that I had. I just had some things that popped into my mind. It says, I wrote it down earlier. It says, why are new homeowners, particularly in cities like San Francisco and Memphis, seeing such daily losses in property value? Well, I mean, is the economic environment in San Francisco good right now? Is it good in Memphis? I mean, are there other factors that are driving down the values of homes? It says, what led to the current state of the housing market experience such drastic value drops? Are they really that drastic? I mean, I just don't think they're that bad. And then it says, what advice can be given to current homeowners who are facing value depreciation in their properties? Well, hopefully you bought with a long-term goal in mind. If you bought it because you thought you were going to flip the house in a year and do nothing to it, I mean, that's kind of on you. Traditionally, there's this saying, it says like a rising tide lifts all boats. And certainly that's true within the real estate market. When times are hot, you can flip a house and make a good profit, okay? But you have to recognize when that is. And when it's not that time and you try to flip a house, you're going to end up getting hurt. And so I think that's going to be what's happened to some of these folks, is that they thought they were buying a house. They thought we were buying a lottery ticket, and the prices were always going to go up. It doesn't work that way. And we had the housing crisis in 2008. I mean, this is not new. This happened. And then, of course, people argue that it's not the same as 2008. It's more like the 1980s. It's fine if you want to argue that. But what I'm saying is we've seen a precedent where we saw massive rumps in home values and home prices only for them to collapse later. Now, I say collapse, do I think there's a home price crash coming? I don't know. Define a crash. Is it more than 20%? I don't think so. I just don't think that's going to happen. But we never know. We never know. We can only look kind of at historical trends and say, if you bought a house and you stayed in it for a couple of years, it looks like it turned out pretty well for you, for the most part. So, you tell me. I mean, maybe you live in one of these cities where they're experiencing rapid declines in home prices. And I don't have any joy. I don't see any. There's no schadenfreude. I don't think like, hey, it's so funny that someone's losing a tremendous amount of value on their home. I just don't see it that way. But I would be interested in your story. So if you have one, put it in the comment section below. With that, I'm going to head on out. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll catch you on the next one.